stared at her dining room with tears in her eyes. The room that was meant to bring her family together had become nothing more than a storage space, piled with unopened mail and her children's school projects. Her teenage daughter Emily hadn't eaten dinner with the family in weeks, always taking her plate to her room. The formal dark wood table and heavy curtains made the room feel cold and uninviting, despite Maria's best efforts with traditional decor. One evening, while scrolling through her social media, Maria saw something that made her stop and gasp. It was a video of a dining room that seemed to breathe with life. The lighting shifted softly, like a gentle sunrise, and the table, was it actually glowing? She called out to her husband David, who had been complaining about their high electricity bills. "You need to see this," she said excitedly. The next day, they visited the Home Innovation Center, where they met Sarah, a dining room transformation specialist who had helped hundreds of families rediscover the joy of eating together. As they walked through the showroom, Sarah noticed how Maria kept running her hands over different table surfaces, drawn to the ones that felt warm and inviting. "You know," Sarah said with a knowing smile, "what you see here isn't even our most impressive display. The real magic happens when we combine these elements in ways most people never imagine." She pulled out her tablet and showed them a before and after video of a family's dining room. "This family was just like yours. They had stopped eating together completely. But want to know something fascinating? Within just 1 week of their room transformation, their electricity bills dropped by 40%. David's eyes widened with interest. 40%? How is that possible? Sarah's eyes twinkled as she led them to a private consultation room. "Let me show you something we've been developing for 2025 that none of our competitors have figured out yet. It's revolutionizing how families spend time together." She closed the door behind them, dimmed the lights, and what happened next would change everything they thought they knew about modern dining spaces. "But before I show you our latest innovation," Sarah said, reaching for a small remote control, "there's something even more important you need to understand about how lighting affects family dynamics." She paused, her hand hovering over the button, watching their eager faces. The revelation she was about to share would prove to be just the beginning of an amazing transformation journey. The room's atmosphere began to shift subtly, and Maria could have sworn she heard soft music coming from somewhere, though she couldn't see any speakers. What they were about to discover would make them completely rethink what a dining room could be in 2025. Section 2: The Magic of Light. Sarah dimmed the lights completely, then touched another button. Suddenly, soft, golden light began flowing from what looked like the walls themselves. "This is what we call ambient intelligence," she explained, as the room's atmosphere shifted to a warm, inviting glow. Maria felt an immediate change in her mood. She wanted to sit down, relax, stay a while. "Watch this," Sarah said, picking up what looked like a regular dinner plate. The moment she placed it on the table, a gentle circle of light surrounded it, making the white china seem to glow from within. "The lighting knows exactly where you place each item," she explained, "and adjusts automatically to create the perfect ambience for whatever you're serving." She demonstrated by placing a bowl of fruit on the table, and instantly, the light adjusted to make the colors look fresh and vibrant. David, always practical, leaned in closer. "But what about the electricity costs?" he asked, thinking about their high utility bills. Sarah smiled and pulled out a simple chart. "That's where it gets interesting," she said. "These lights use less energy than a single old-style bulb, but here's the real magic." She placed 3 more plates on the table, and the lighting adjusted perfectly, using even less energy. The system learns your family's dining patterns and adjusts automatically. If Emily likes brighter light for homework at the table, it remembers that too. Just then, they heard excited voices from the showroom. A family was leaving, all of them beaming. "That's the Chen family," Sarah explained. "They installed this system last month. Their teenage son started inviting friends over for dinner instead of going out. Would you believe they've saved more money on takeout than the cost of the entire lighting system?" Maria thought about Emily, who spent most evenings ordering food with friends, claiming their dining room was too depressing. She could already imagine her daughter's face lighting up at the sight of this magical system. But Sarah wasn't finished yet. "You see this switch?" Sarah asked, pointing to what looked like a normal light switch on the wall. "It's actually a mood scanner. It reads the room's energy and adjusts everything automatically." She walked over and waved her hand near it. The lighting shifted to a cozy evening glow, perfect for intimate family dinners. "But watch what happens when I tell it we're having a party." The room suddenly transformed with subtle color changes that made everything feel more festive. David was about to ask another question when Sarah held up her hand. "The lighting is amazing, isn't it?" she said with a knowing smile. "But it's just the beginning. What I'm about to show you next changed how families actually feel about spending time together." She walked over to what looked like a regular dining room rug. "Most people think rugs are just for decoration," she said, her eyes twinkling. "But in 2025, they're actually the secret to perfect family dinners." As Sarah reached down to touch the rug, the air in the room began to feel different. Maria noticed that the sound of traffic outside had completely disappeared, replaced by a peaceful sense of calm. What they were about to discover would make the lighting system seem like old technology in comparison. Section 3: The Comfort Revolution. The rug beneath their feet suddenly felt different, warmer, softer, almost like it was gently massaging their feet. Sarah smiled at their surprised expressions. "This is our SmartComfort rug," she explained. "But it's not just any rug. Watch what happens when I tap this corner." She touched the edge of the rug lightly, and a soft wave of gentle warmth spread across its surface. "Feel how quiet the room is now?" Sarah asked. Maria nodded. She hadn't even noticed when the outside noise had disappeared. "The rug has thousands of tiny sound-absorbing fibers," Sarah explained. "No more scraping chair noises, no more echoing voices. Just peaceful family conversations." She demonstrated by dragging a chair across the floor and made no sound at all. "But here's what really makes it special," Sarah continued, pulling out her phone. "The rug actually learns your family's comfort preferences." She showed them a simple app with different family member profiles. If Emily likes the floor warmer while studying, it remembers that. If David prefers it cooler during dinner, it adjusts automatically. And the best part? It uses less energy than a single light bulb. Just then, they heard laughter from another room. Sarah's eyes lit up. "Perfect timing," she said. "Remember the Chen family? Their daughter Lisa is here to show you something." A teenage girl walked in, phone in hand, excited to share her story. "Ever since we got our smart dining room," Lisa explained, "my TikTok followers have doubled. Everyone wants to know how our dinner setup changes color with my outfits." Maria watched as Lisa demonstrated, wearing a blue dress that the room's lighting and rug subtly complemented. Then Lisa showed them her most viral video, a homework transformation clip where the rug created a cozy study nook with perfect lighting and comfort settings. "I used to hate studying at the dining table," Lisa admitted. "Now it's my favorite spot in the house." David, still thinking practically, asked about cleaning and maintenance. Sarah grinned and picked up a glass of water. Without warning, she spilled it on the rug. Before Maria could gasp, the liquid simply disappeared. "Self-cleaning fibers," Sarah explained. "Spills vanish, stains are impossible, and it refreshes itself every night. One family has had theirs for 2 years, still looks brand new." But just as Maria was getting excited about never having to clean dining room spills again, Sarah held up her hand. "The cleaning feature is impressive," she said, "but wait until you see what happens when we combine this with our next innovation." She walked over to the dining table, which looked completely normal at first glance. "This table," she said with a mysterious smile, "is about to change everything you think you know about family dinners." She reached for what looked like a normal table setting, but there was something different about the way the silverware caught the light. Maria leaned in closer, curious about what she was about to discover. The next revelation would make their previous amazement seem small in comparison. Section 4: The Intelligent Table. What looked like an ordinary wooden dining table suddenly came to life under Sarah's touch. The surface began to glow softly, and a gentle warmth spread across it. "This is the HeartTable," Sarah explained. "And it's the reason why families who install it end up eating together 80% more often." She placed her hand on the surface, and the table responded with a soft pulse of light, like a heartbeat. "Remember how Emily takes her plate to her room?" Sarah asked Maria. "Watch this." She placed the dinner plate on the table, and suddenly, a subtle light show began dancing around it. The table's surface displayed what looked like tiny stars moving around the plate, creating a magical dining experience. "Teenagers love this feature," Sarah smiled. "But it's not just about looking pretty." She pulled out what looked like a normal placemat and set it on the table. Instantly, the surface around it became a personalized space. "The table recognizes each family member," she explained. "It adjusts the height for perfect posture, controls the temperature of their section, and even helps with portion control if they want." David watched in amazement as Sarah demonstrated how his section could be cooler, while Maria's stayed warmer. "But here's what really got the Chen family excited," Sarah continued. She tapped the table twice, and suddenly, a soft holographic display appeared above it. "Homework mode," she said, and the table transformed into the perfect study space. The lighting adjusts to reduce eye straining, the surface becomes perfect for writing, and look. She pointed to small symbols appearing near the edges. "It can project textbook pages, show educational videos, or help with math problems." Just then, Lisa popped her head back in. "Show them the party mode," she exclaimed excitedly. Sarah laughed and touched another setting. The entire table came alive with subtle patterns that moved with the music playing softly in the background. "Last weekend," Lisa shared, "I hosted a dinner party for my friends. Everyone's phones stayed in their pockets because the table was so entertaining." David, impressed but still practical, asked about durability. Sarah smiled and did something unexpected. She scratched the surface with her keys. "Self-healing technology," she explained as the marks disappeared instantly. "Hot plates, spills, scratches, nothing damages it. And it actually gets smarter over time, learning your family's preferences and habits." Maria was about to ask about cost when Sarah interrupted her thoughts. "Before we talk about investment," she said with a knowing look, "there's something else you need to see. Something that makes everything we've shown you so far look basic." She reached underneath the table and pressed what looked like a normal button. The air in the room shifted slightly, and Maria noticed a subtle fragrance, like fresh bread baking. "This next feature," Sarah said softly, "is why we had to ask every family to sign an NDA this year. What I'm about to show you isn't just a dining room upgrade. It's a completely new way of bringing families together." The table's surface began to shimmer in a way that made it look almost liquid, and what happened next would challenge everything they thought was possible in a dining room. Section 5, the Family Connection Zone. The shimmering table's surface suddenly produced what looked like a window into another dining room. "This is what we call the family bridge," Sarah explained softly. Through this magical window, they could see a grandmother setting her dinner table. Maria gasped. It looked so real, as if the other dining room was just through a window. "Remember how families used to do video calls during dinner?" Sarah asked. "This is completely different. Watch this." She placed a plate on their table, and instantly, an identical plate appeared on the grandmother's table in the other room. Now grandparents can actually share meals with their families, even when they live far away. The table matches everything: temperature, lighting, even the clinking sound of silverware. Just then, Lisa returned with her phone to show them something amazing. In her video, her whole family was having dinner with both sets of grandparents, one from Chicago and one from Singapore. Everyone looked like they were sitting at the same table, sharing the same space. "My grandmother teaches me her secret recipes now," Lisa said excitedly. "She can actually see if I'm adding too much salt." David leaned forward, fascinated by how real everything looked. "But that's not even the best part," Sarah said with a smile. She touched another setting, and suddenly their table connected to what looked like a professional kitchen. "We've partnered with top chefs worldwide. Families can take cooking classes together, learn from professional chefs, or join community cooking events all from their dining room. Maria watched as a famous chef appeared to be cooking right in front of them, explaining each step as if he was there in person. The table's surface showed exactly where to place ingredients, what temperatures to use, and even warned if something was about to overcook. Last week, Sarah shared, the Chin family learned to make authentic Italian pasta from a chef in Rome. But here's what really changes everything. Sarah continued. She pressed another button, and the table's surface filled with what looked like tiny stars. The table actually records your family's favorite moments. She showed them how one family had captured their daughter's birthday dinner, complete with the sounds, smells, and feelings of that special evening. You can replay these memories anytime, keeping family traditions alive. David was about to ask about the cost again, but he stopped when he saw something unusual happening at the edge of the table. A soft, golden light was beginning to pulse, and the air felt different somehow. Sarah noticed his expression and smiled. "Ah," she said, "it's sensing that it's almost dinner time in your usual schedule. The table learns your family's natural rhythms." Just as Maria was trying to imagine their family gathered around this magical table, Sarah held up her hand. "Before you make any decisions," she said, reaching for what looked like a simple dining room chair, "there's one more innovation you need to experience. This is what makes our dining rooms different from anything else in the world." The chair seemed to shimmer slightly as Sarah pulled it out, and they could hear what sounded like soft music coming from somewhere deep within it. Section 6. The Comfort Harmony. The chair that Sarah pulled out looked simple but elegant. "This is no ordinary chair," she said, inviting Maria to sit down. The moment Maria sat, she felt something extraordinary. The chair seemed to adjust itself perfectly to her body, like a gentle hug. "We call these the Harmony chairs," Sarah explained. "They're designed to make family dinners last longer naturally. Each chair learns who's sitting in it." Sarah continued, showing how the chair had already stored Maria's perfect settings. "Notice how your feet just touch the floor perfectly? How your back feels supported in just the right way." The chair gently adjusted its temperature, and Maria felt more comfortable than she had in years at a dining table. Just then, Lisa came bouncing in again. "Show them the homework mode," she insisted. Sarah smiled and adjusted something under the chair's arm. Suddenly, the chair transformed, the back straightened slightly, the support shifted, and a small floating desk appeared from the side. "My grades went up so much after we got these," Lisa shared excitedly. "It's like the chair knows exactly how to keep me focused." David, who had been having back problems, carefully sat in another chair. His eyes widened as the chair automatically adjusted to support his lower back. "That's right," Sarah nodded. "The chairs actually help with posture and can even give gentle massages during long family dinners. Some parents told us they've stopped falling asleep at the table after big meals. But watch what happens when someone gets emotional," Sarah said with a twinkle in her eye. She asked Lisa to think about her last birthday dinner. As Lisa smiled at the memory, her chair produced a soft, warm glow. "The chairs respond to emotions," Sarah explained. "Happy conversations create beautiful light shows. Some families say they can see their love for each other glowing around the table." Maria noticed something else. The chair seemed to be gently swaying, almost like a rocking chair, but so subtly you could barely see it. "That's the calm mode," Sarah explained. "It's especially popular with teenagers who come home stressed from school. The gentle movement helps them relax and open up about their day." David was about to ask about durability when Sarah gestured to a small panel on the chair's arm. "Here's where it gets really interesting," she said. "These chairs don't just provide comfort, they're actually improving family health." She showed them how each chair could track posture, stress levels, and even recommend the best times for family meals based on everyone's energy levels. "But," Sarah said, holding up her hand before they could get too excited, "there's one final feature that brings everything together. Something that turned these chairs from amazing to magical." She walked over to what looked like a normal dining room cabinet. What I'm about to show you is why families who have this system say they'll never go back to regular dining rooms. The cabinet door seemed to pulse with a soft light, and as Sarah reached for the handle, the air in the room felt charged with possibility. Section 7. The Magical Finale. Sarah opened the cabinet, and soft, golden light spilled out. Inside wasn't just storage space, it was what she called the family memory vault. "This," she said softly, "is where all the magic comes together." She reached in and pulled out what looked like a simple photo album, but when she opened it, the entire room transformed. Suddenly, they were surrounded by floating memories from the Chin family birthdays, holidays, quiet family dinners, all captured in living color. But it wasn't just pictures or videos. They could smell Mom's special sauce cooking, hear the laughter from last Christmas dinner, and feel the joy from a recent family celebration. "Every special moment gets saved here," Sarah explained. "Not just the big events, but the small, precious moments too. Watch this," Lisa said excitedly, touching one of her stored memories. The room filled with the scene of her grandfather teaching her how to make dumplings, his hands guiding hers through the motions. The table, chairs, and lighting all worked together to recreate that exact moment, the warmth, the smells, even the afternoon sunlight streaming through the windows. David, usually focused on practical matters, found himself blinking back tears as he watched the scene unfold. "But here's what makes it truly special," Sarah said, pressing another button. The cabinet revealed different memory collections, family recipes, holiday traditions, special celebrations, and even everyday moments worth remembering. "The system doesn't just store these memories," Sarah explained, showing them how each piece of furniture played its part. "The table remembers the exact temperature of Grandma's soup bowl. The chairs recall how everyone was feeling. The lights matched the moment perfectly. And the rug?" She paused, smiling. "The rug remembers where little brother spilled his juice and how everyone laughed instead of getting upset." Maria watched in amazement as more memories played out, teenagers doing homework while Mom cooked, Dad telling jokes during Sunday dinner, friends gathering for birthday celebrations. Each scene felt completely real, as if it was happening right now. "Some families tell us they spend hours just reliving their favorite moments," Sarah shared. "But the real magic happens when you start creating your own." She turned to Maria and David, her eyes twinkling. "Imagine Emily inviting her friends over because your dining room is the coolest hangout spot. Imagine weekend cooking lessons with Grandma, even though she lives 3 states away. Imagine family dinners where phones stay forgotten in pockets because what's happening at the table is more interesting than any social media." As if on cue, they heard laughter from the showroom, another family discovering their own possibilities. Sarah smiled and closed the memory album gently. "So," she said, looking at Maria and David, "would you like to see what your family's story could look like?" Emma's voice suddenly called from the showroom. She had come looking for her parents after her study group. As she stepped into the room, the entire space seemed to welcome her. The lights softened to her favorite shade, the chair nearest to her adjusted to her height, and the table's surface sparkled invitingly. "Mom, Dad," she started, her eyes wide with wonder. "Can we?" She didn't need to finish her question. The magic of possibility was already filling the room, and in that moment, they could all see their future family dinners, full of laughter, love, and connections that would last a lifetime. Sarah picked up her tablet, ready to show them how this could become their reality. "Welcome," she said warmly, "to your family's new chapter."